In Lords of the Fallen, if you're after trying to make the best and most powerful builds, you're going to want to upgrade your weapon all the way to max. However, in order to do that, it's not quite so simple, and you're going to need to find a resource that's actually very rare, and that's going to be the Deralium Chunks. There's only 5 locations you can grab these in the game. I'll be going over each one. So the first one you're going to be able to encounter is going to be all the way over the Hoist location, the Vestige of Katrin. From there, you're going to make your way just over here. Pull the lever, you'll be greeted with a nice sturdy looking lift of sorts, and then you're going to make your way all the way down to the bottom. From there, just travel in the direction I show here. Obviously, if you need to stop off in order to plant any vestige seeds just for a bit of a safety net, then make sure you stock up on them beforehand. Keep travelling through. You probably want to avoid the enemies rather than taking them all out, just because it'll make things a bit faster, but just keep heading off down in this direction here. Now there's quite a few archers here, so it can be a bit of a pain. Again, if you want to just bypass them, go for it, but I found it would probably be easier to tackle these because I got hit an awful bunch trying to run past. Make your way down the ladder, and then again, just head off down here. Now at this point it can get a little bit dark, just keep making your way through the cave system until you head off all the way down here, and finally you'll make it just over to this small rock formation and you'll see a nice glowing item for you to pick up, and that's going to be your first Deralium Chunk. Next up is going to be the Crow's Nest. You're going to have to have beaten this boss, and the fast travel is the Vestige of Luash. Once you have defeated them, you're going to make your way a little bit further throughout the instance. Pop down this ladder and then just head off across this walkway here, and then keep making your way towards the beacon. Just up here, obviously you have a decision to make. Do you want to cleanse the beacon or do you want to leave it alone? That's completely up to you depending on what playthrough you're going with, but just behind it is going to be the item you're after. Lo and behold, another Deralium Chunk. Next, you're going to need to have made it all the way to the Tower of Penance, and then you're going to want to hug a left, go just over to this pulley system again, and then make your way up the elevator. Same as before, if you want to plant any vestige seeds, go for it, but then you're going to head just inside and make your way down. Now at this point I found it best to use your lamp if you want to explode them to take out an enemy below, and then you're going to need to jump off and then make it even further down the tower. Head just over here and be careful because there will be one of those big spiky headed guys ready to tackle you and burst out from the wall, so if you're not ready he probably could knock you off here. However, at this point you're going to want to jump, make your way down to here, and just inside here you'll be rewarded with another Deralium Chunk. Now pretty much at the last location you'll be playing in this game, you're going to make your way over to Bramis Castle, the Vestige of the Bloody Pilgrim. Now this one is a bit of a trek, I must admit, and everything in here hits ridiculously hard, so you probably want to buff up a little bit, or at least make sure you've got quite a bit of health before you tackle this area. But just keep making your way through, head in the direction I show, and I will be taking a few shortcuts because I've already completed this area. If they're not available to you, like this ladder here, then you will need to have completed a bit more of the area and uncovered a few of the shortcuts yourself. But just keep heading up the castle, make your way up the stairs, keep heading in this direction, and then you want to jump off that ledge. At this point there's going to be a couple of tough enemies coming up, so if you don't like ruiners you may want to run past them, or if you've got a nice build on you can probably take them out. But then you're just going to keep heading forward into the area where you pick up the swaddling cloth. But we're not here for that at the moment, we're going to be making our way a little bit further on, so you're going to want to travel into Umbral and then use your lamp to make a makeshift platform. Jump onto all of the hands and then make your way down this red crystalline structure. Now at this point you're just going to be able to make your way all the way through, and then there's going to be two ways you can go. One way's on the right, or there's one way on the left. Left takes you all the way to the boss room, but just before it is the item you're after. However, on the right here is going to be a vestige bed, and I would highly advise using this one if you can, because I died a couple of times trying to make this jump. If you don't time it right you may well end up like me. But head back up to where you were, and then just head off around here. Now there'll be another ruiner at this point, so probably best to take them out if you can, and there's going to be an archer a little bit further up. I cut it there because I, as I said, completely fell off. All you gotta do, run, jump, and you'll be able to grab the 4th Deralium Chunk. Now our 5th and last chunk, one that is an absolutely amazing idea in theory and absolutely awful in practice, is going to be your multiplayer shrine just here. I believe when you're playing multiplayer you get pilfered coins, and you've got one more Deralium Chunk that you can obtain here, and since the last patch it's been put down to 150 coins. However, you do have to defeat bosses in order to acquire these, so they can still be quite tricky to obtain. The only time I've heard of getting them is when you tackle the bosses, so if you're playing with friends you might want to ask them if they'll summon you whenever they're about to take down a really tough boss enemy, or you can go over to any vestige and go over to a company lamp bearer in order to matchmake with a random player and hopefully earn some that way. However, you could just be roaming around, and if you're not a boss you're probably not going to earn any. And even at 150 it's still going to take a while to obtain these, and I can't even show you what the coins look like because I've always been kicked from matchmaking with the 10-20 attempts I've tried. But yeah, hopefully this gets fixed and that's another added way, otherwise you're going to have to go on to New Game Plus if you want more Deralium Chunks. But yeah, hopefully that's helped a few of you guys and girls out. There'll be a lot more Lords of the Fallen content from me, builds, guides, some tips on what the most powerful weapons and spells are. But as always, for all things gaming, take care. I'll see you on the next day.